All right, testing the audio now. Now do we have audio? Please have audio. If this doesn't work, I have one more trick and then we'll figure it out. Do we have audio now? Audio, testing, 1, 2. Okay, audio sounds better. I don't know what that was about. That was weird. Susan says no sound, but some people are saying that I do have sound. So maybe there's volume on the other end of your phone. Turn your phones up. So looks like we fixed the audio on this side. Welcome to episode 103 of WhysAdvice. We had Batman earlier. Batman was here just for a little bit. For those of you who popped in early, you got to catch that funness. Let me get the Instagram channel started, and we'll get that going. So we're live here on Facebook, episode 103 in the books. Let me see who popped in. A lot of you popped in. I got you on the earlier one. Susan, you're here. Jeannie, gotcha. Susan, I saw you there. Marie, good evening to you. Hi, Diane. Paulette and Alicia, good to see you both. Karen, yay, audio. Jeff is here. Lisa's here. Yvette is here. Katie out of Yakima, Washington. LR, good. You can hear me now. Thank you for being here. Liz, did I have a Batman suit on? There's a filter here that does Batman. Susan has to turn your volume up on your phone, Susan. Maybe that may be your issue there. Jeannie out of North Alabama's in the house. Jill. Hi, Jill. Good evening to you. Kathy's here with sounds. Good. So it looks like the sound is working for those who have the volume set properly. Penny out of New Jersey. Good to see you for sure. Thank you for being here. Ginger, yeah, you missed Batman. Batman was just here for just a moment, and then Batman's gone. So Paulette from Louisiana. Another Jeannie from Chicago. Iris is here. Mary Beth, thank you for that very much. I'm totally honored to be able to do it. Very fun. Denise out of Texas. Good evening to you. Illinois. Gary's here from Illinois. Out of Rantoul, Illinois. Very nice. Jacob out of Wonder Lake. Minnesota. Hope is here. Angie, good evening. Sandra, good evening. Enza is here. Jill, down 1.8. Nice work. Good job. Chris is here from West Virginia. Chris, I saw your email today, actually, as a matter of fact, and Chris was asking, I'll just answer it real quick while you got you. Chris was asking early on in my journey what I did during the first 6 months of my weight loss as far as exercise. And I'll be honest with you, it was nothing more than an hour walk at the slowest pace possible daily. And I just built that routine of doing something daily, nothing more than walking for the first 5 or 6 months for sure. Then after that, I lost a good amount of weight, and then I started adding some running in, and then strength training on top of that. So that was it for Chris. Brandy's here. Denise is here. Amanda out of Tennessee is here. Very nice. Pamela, good evening. Barbara says hello. Hi, Mike Batman. Julie, 5 pounds. Good job there. Great job. Jessica, cool. Very loud and clear. So Jessica on the, this is crazy. So we have a microphone here. We have a microphone here. Check this out, right? So this will be Instagram in a little bit. I'll get Instagram fired up. So this is the microphone for Instagram. This is the microphone for Facebook. And this is the microphone for the podcast. Is that not a little bit much or what? I think it is. It's a little much. But if you're going to have a show where the voice is important, I think it's important to be able to hear it. So let's see what else we got going there. Ellen from Boulder, good evening to you. Hershey, Nebraska, Jeanette is here. Thank you for being here. Sarah out of Montana. Annette is here. Let's see. Niagara Falls, Canada. Diane is here. So you live on the beautiful side of the falls. Very nice, Diane. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Yeah, Stephen, I can bring FatDag here for like a minute, and then we'll go live on Instagram, and then we'll see what happens after that. I wonder why Susan has no sound. Ann Scott's out of Denver. Angela from Indiana. We're in Indiana, as a matter of fact. I bet you knew that, though, right? I'm up in north of Indianapolis, up in Carmel. Angie, good evening. And every time I hit that button, Amanda Cookville out of Tennessee, thank you for being here. Yvette, I got you. Good job, Annette. -2 pounds in August, weigh in as lifetimer. Man, that's awesome. Very proud of you for that. Erica's here. Jeannie's 10 miles from Tennessee on 65. Oh, good. Susan fixed the audio. Yay. Gary, down 6.2 for the week. Dude, that's incredible. Good work. Good focus. That's incredible focus. All right. Susan's back from Hawaii. Very nice. Let's see here. Yeah, Marie. Let's see. All right, let's see what else we got. Getting there. I'm scrolling down, getting past. Amanda's 18.2. Very nice. Kathy's saying, really struggling this week. You want to eat everything in sight. It's been really hard, but you've kept snacking at a minimum. Weigh in tomorrow. Kathy, that's how you win. Find things, that you can substitute in that kind of keep you at bay. I'm telling you, what's interesting, I started recognizing this today, is I feel completely different now. I don't get hungry like I used to. I now built eating habits and eating regimen that I just really need my 3 meals a day and I'm good. And it's weird for me to say that, trust me. So Shelby's in Niagara Falls on the other side. Very cool. Penny's 3 pounds from 10%. Penny, when you get there, email in. We'll put it on the show. Let's see. I'm scrolling through. Pamela, first timer. Good evening to you. Yeah, Siobhan, you're here. You're here live. Very cool. Let's see. Nikki just started listening this week thanks to your aunt, so tell her thank you. And you told your whole meeting about you tonight. Very cool. Went back to tracking and meetings this week thanks to everyone's email and encouraging us. It's the only way to keep it going is to not quit. All right, so Jeannie's here. Let's see. I'm going to scroll down for a little bit. I'm going to skip a little bit, so if I missed you, I'm sorry. Let's bring, just for fun, what's this? Let's see. Remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Not sure what that was about. All right, I'm going to fire up Instagram, and we're going to get going. All right, hey, we're live on Instagram as well. Folks, thank you for being here. We got Facebook on this side, Instagram on this side. We're going to get episode 103 in the books. For those of you on Facebook for joining me, you saw Batman make an appearance. Instagram, we don't have that option. So if you want to see Batman, it makes no sense to you. I get it. You've got to go over to Facebook. So we're on episode 103 of WhysAdvice. We're going to get this show rocking. Get it in the books and get going. So all of you on Instagram, thank you for being here. It's honored to have this opportunity to spend the night with you, the evening with you, and get this show going. So everybody ready? 103 coming up. Testing 1, 2. And test 1, 2. Hey, before I start, I got this super duper cool card in the mail today. So you guys, and then I'll show you guys here on Instagram. And it was so nice of you guys to say congratulations on the 100th episode. Can you guys see that? So, man, that was just the coolest thing ever. So thank you for that. Honored to be able to do this. So, all right, let's get 103 in the books. Let's start it off with water like we always do. And we got more microphones here than I know what to do with. Very cool. Instagram folks ready? Thank you. Facebook guys, here we go. Hey, Kelly's joining us on Instagram. That's pretty cool. Hey, Kelly. I am your host, FatDag. You're listening to WhysAdvice. My weight loss journey failed when I focused on how. It wasn't until I switched my focus to why that I truly transformed myself. Join the show on the web at FatDag.com and follow along on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at WhysAdvice. Send in your comments, your questions, and your celebrations, and I'll include them as part of the show. But before we dive in, remember, when you're out of points, stop eating points. Hey, I'm honored to be your wingman as we walk through this journey together because I believe in you. Well, here we are, episode 103 of WhysAdvice. I want to open the show by just giving a huge thank you. The Connect community, the Weight Watcher community, everyone who's working this journey, no matter what plan you're doing, how you're following it, you're getting it done. My inbox just explodes with some amazing stories of personal triumph and way people are just handling this. And it just tells me that we got to just keep going. Every day someone shares this show with somebody else and we continue to grow. We're averaging about 8,000 to 10,000 downloads a day, which completely blows my mind, makes no sense to me. But it all happens because you take the time to recommend this to other folks and they're dialing in. And I hope that as they do that, they go to the App Store, they get the WhysAdvice app. I believe that's the best way to hear the show. But it doesn't matter if you catch it from iHeartRadio, if you're getting it from Stitcher Radio, if you're getting it on Facebook, wherever you're hearing it from. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. It's an incredible journey, and I'm honored to walk this journey with you. I'll open up the show with Jessica. Jessica writes in. She says, Hi, Mike. First off, I just wanted to say thank you so much for your podcast. I'm a faithful listener, and I want you to know that your podcast is helping me tremendously on my weight loss journey. Now, I'm about to get personal. I have recently discovered that I have a binge eating issue. You haven't really touched on this subject, so I was hoping that you might have some insight on this. I shared a post on Connect about my struggles, and I did get some feedback from others that are going through the same issues. I started Weight Watchers this past March, and I was almost at a 35-pound weight loss. Then the 4th of July weekend happened. I went away on a camping trip for the holiday, and I had a plan in place. My plan was to stay focused, make good food choices, and track everything. Well, when I got there, I discovered I had no cell phone service, so that meant no Weight Watchers app. I felt lost. I tried my best to write everything I ate down and guesstimate the smart point value, but that didn't last long. By the 3rd day of our trip, I gave up on tracking, and the next 2 days turned into a full-on binge fest. I've been so focused for the last 4 months, and then I fell off the plan, and this happens. I woke up on Wednesday, which was my weigh-in day, and I knew that I had to reset. I was disappointed in myself, but I tried really hard not to be angry. I just went back and I tried to track as much as I could. Then I decided to just move forward. I forced myself to go to my weigh-in even though I knew I would have a gain. It was 5.2 pounds to be exact. I couldn't believe that in 3 days I managed to binge eat myself into a 5.2 pound gain. I felt embarrassed. Even though I was back on track for a few days, it didn't last very long. This past weekend was packed with birthday parties and a graduation party. I ended up binging again. I just don't understand why I am doing this. I've been trying to research a little bit more on binge eating. I know there is more to it. I'm an emotional eater. I want so much to get to goal. I was only 16 pounds away. Now I feel like I set myself back so much, and I'm desperately trying to stop myself from continuing down this downward spiral. I feel helpless. Thank you so much for reading this. I hope you can give me some advice on how I can get this under control. Well, Jessica, first off, the number one thing you have to understand is everything you're going through has happened to probably all of us, if not most of us for sure. So it's part of the journey, and the fact is that you understand how to recover from it is more important than trying to figure out how or why it happens, because I don't think we're ever going to solve that piece completely. So what we have to do is we have to then say, Hey, I understand this happens. I don't know exactly why. I'm not even sure what the trigger is. I'm certainly not sure how to prevent it. But what I can do is I could recognize it when it happens, and then when the event is over, I can have a plan in place to then continue on and move on. Now, the beautiful part of your email is the fact that you were down almost 35 pounds, which proves to me that you know how to work the plan, you know how to follow the program, and you have focus, you have discipline, you are able to get it done. You do not lose 35 pounds on accident. It's almost impossible to wake up one morning and say, oh my God, I'm down 35 pounds. I had no idea how I got here. So you've done that by staying focused. You've done that by understanding what your goal is. You've done that by understanding what your why is and carrying forward to make sure that you are focused all the time to get to a 35-pound weight loss. You did that. You did very well. Then you come up on a place where you have no app for the day. You have no internet for a couple days. It led in your scenario, it led into a binge because you didn't know the point value. Here's where I would say, for the next time, you did a great job with this time, and the great job you did was getting right back to a meeting room and owning it. That's the great part. Now, how I would recommend you set yourself up for a future success if this scenario were to happen again, and I'm going to tell you this scenario will happen again. So knowing that, you can forgive yourself now for the future time that it happens because it's going to happen. And then what you can do is say, okay, now that I know it's going to happen, how can I recover from it when it does? That's the piece I'm more focused on. Now, as you work the plan currently, you're down 35 pounds, you continue to work the plan, you will start to recognize things in your day, in your journey, that you can kind of rely on. You'll get to a point where you'll know the point value of many of the things that you eat often. And so without an app, without a tracker, I can probably do very well successfully tracking for a good 3 or 4 days in my controlled environment. I can pick things and I can stay on plan without the app because I've been doing it for so long. I know the values. That's where I always say build the healthy goals and build your habits and build attendance goals. Because if you do that type of work and you continue to work it, systematically and daily you're logging in and tracking, you will start to remember how to have success on the program. So that's what you do. And then days that you don't have access to the tools, mentally you remember them and you can get it done. I do not want you to be disappointed in yourself. We know this happens. We know this is going to happen again. And the fact that you went after the event and you weighed in, you owned it. A 5.2 pound gain, to be exact, over the course of 3 or 4 days, 90% of that is going to be water weight. It's going to be salt, sodium weight. It's not a true 5.2 pound gain. The way to attack that is when you get to that scale and you see the number that you don't like, if you know that it's not a true number, and then you follow that up with a solid week, 2-3 weeks of nothing but pure tracking, that number dives down quickly and just instantly goes away, and most people end up getting a much bigger loss leading into the weeks after. So you have to understand that. Now, hey, I'm not an expert on binge eating. I don't know how or why, or even I'm not even able to prevent them. I can't even prevent them on myself. So I can't tell you how to prevent them. The last piece I'll give you is I tell you that the other thing I do is when I get to the point, if I binge during the middle of a day, and for me now it's pretty rare, but if I do, then what I do is I've divided my daily points by 3, and I know that roughly my dinner is about 12 to 13 points for an average dinner most days for me. So if for some reason lunch takes me completely off plan, between lunch and dinner, that's my time to refocus and say, hey, I understand what happened. I can't prevent it, but now I know I have 13 points to work into dinner because that's what a normal dinner looks like. I have my 13 points for dinner. I go to bed on plan. I wake up on plan in a much better mood to get this done. This plan, everything we have to do is most of it is just behavior modification. So we have to understand that we can't change some of the things that happen to us. We can only change how we react to them. As we've talked about, nothing is off limits in this plan. You can have whatever it is you want. What you have to understand about that saying, though, is nothing is off limits, but you have to change the way you eat the things that we would normally consider off limits. You can have anything you want. You have to be able to have it in moderation and control it. And when you understand that and you have a healthy relationship with the food, that's when you'll get to goal. Because you've changed your mind, you've changed your focus, and you've changed the way you deal with it. So Jessica, thank you for your email. I'm super proud of you for getting there to weighing in. The absolute best news is if you've lost 35 pounds, you know what you're doing. You can get there again because you've proven that you've gotten there. Continue to work it, and we'll see where it goes. Next up, Julie writes in, and she says, "Hi, Mike. I wrote to you on Friday when I was upset about a food pusher who wouldn't take no for an answer. Now I'd like to fill you in on the rest of the story. Earlier in the day, I had completed my 5 a.m. workout. I pre-planned, I packed, and I tracked my food, and I was feeling confident of a successful day. However, after a couple hours of doing battle with the "you must eat this" lady, I felt ambushed and defeated. This afternoon, I reassessed my status. I had still earned my fit points. She had not taken that away. I still had the ability to adjust what I ate the rest of the day in order to end up the day with a blue dot. So that's what I did. I had an apple and string cheese for lunch. We had a wedding rehearsal dinner to attend that evening, and I was able to enjoy a large salad and a small serving of chicken pasta Alfredo while saying no thank you to the bread and pie that were offered. I ended the day at 34 points and exhaled a big sigh of relief. Food pusher lady hadn't ruined my whole entire day after all. Thanks for listening. I would still appreciate hearing some strategies for handling people like her in the future. Please keep doing what you're doing, Mike. You help me so much. I listen every morning while I get ready for work. It helps set my mindset in the right direction for the day. Julie out of Napanee, Indiana. Julie, I love the opening to your email, how you set the day up. You had your 5 a.m. workout, you pre-planned, you packed, you tracked. All of that stuff, you're right, brings into a very confident day. So the strategy that you have that works most days, that's what enabled you to beat this food pusher in this scenario. So I understand exactly what you're talking about when you say, you've met the person, you must eat this, have this, have this, have this. It's absolutely frustrating when you run into those people. What I found is a lot of times as they offer the food, they really only want to see you take it. They don't stand there and watch you eat it. So extreme worst case scenario, you can pick it up, turn around, walk away, and throw it away if you've got the willpower to do that. That's one way to absolutely beat them. The other way to beat them, as we've talked about before, the way to beat them is by staying focused to your goal. Continue and work that. One instance like this is not going to ruin your entire journey if you understand that it's going to happen in your journey. But when you get to goal, when you get to an ideal weight, those types of scenarios go away. It's not often now that people don't take my first answer of no thank you, because they understand now that I'm serious about it. So we have to be firm and strong. It's the same adage we tell our kids, right? You've just got to say no. I'm using the cliche, but it's kind of almost that simple, is you have to say, no, this is what I need right now, so stop it. Thank you very much, but no thank you. And so that's where they're coming from, knowing that the food pushers generally, they're trying to they're trying to be social, they're trying to be engaging, so you have to treat it very in a respectful scenario, but you always have to be true to you, because you're the one working this journey, and you have the ability to get it done. So I love the fact that you reassessed your entire day around this. That to me tells me more than anything else in your journey. The fact that, yes, you felt ambushed, you felt defeated, but then you followed the plan of when you're out of points, you stopped eating points, you reassessed your day, you ended the day on plan, is amazing focus. You've gotten it done, and I can't believe that we're walking this journey together, and I can't wait till you get to goal and we can celebrate that. Next up, Karen out of Georgia writes in and says, "Dear FatDag, I've started this letter to you several times in my head over the last few weeks, but I always stop because I'm not quite there yet in knowing my why. As I listen to your podcast, I am reminded that this single question of what is my why is the most important part of my journey, and I keep hearing you say to dig deep to find it, so I guess you could say I've been digging deep. I've been a Weight Watcher member for many, many years. I've been lifetime member, disappointing myself again and again when I could not retain that status for any length of time. Your podcasts have given me an insight to myself that I never realized until I started searching for my why. I keep hearing the word surrender as I start forming my why over and over again, but I haven't been able to pinpoint what I am surrendering to. Am I surrendering to the bad habits or surrendering to new habits? And then I started seeing a shift. Your words have allowed me to reframe my way of thinking, like adjusting a lens on a camera. Sometimes you can see a shot one way, but if you turn the lens to focus just a bit one way or the other, suddenly things become more clear. I realized that in the past I always chose my goal weight at the high end because deep down I didn't think I could ever do any better than that. In the past I always lost weight because of an event. In the past I exercised for a quick fix. In the past I measured my success against others. But since I adjusted my lens, I'm seeing things in a whole new way. I have achieved my old goal weight, and I decided I have not stepped up on the scale for the very last time in a weight loss mode. Not yet. I can do better. The event that I'm losing for is called my life. I am exercising daily for attendance, not performance or a quick fix. And my greatest measure of success is that I'm never going to start again. All that said, I finally have my why, and it's pretty simple. I started Weight Watchers because I learned that I had to surrender. I know I will focus and refocus as I continue on my journey, and at the time surrender, but I will not look back. Thank you for your unwavering support of so many. You are modeling a way of life that allows others to achieve their success. Thank you, Karen out of Georgia. Karen, great email, and so you've absolutely done it right. You've changed your habits. That's the piece that we talk about that you have to get the success at in order to get the goal. So you've been there before. You understand that. You understand exactly what it feels like. You understand exactly what it looks like, and you're getting it done. In the past, you've exercised for the quick fix or measuring your success against others. We know that doesn't work. And so you're now understanding that. You're having a complete mindset readjustment that will carry you to goal. What I absolutely loved about your email is that you've understood the event now that you're losing weight for, the event now that you're preparing for. Instead of being a wedding, instead of being a big event, the event is your life. That's right. You're doing this for health benefits and for the rest of your life. If you understand that, if you do healthy things, the body will react and it'll reward you by being healthy. And then every wedding you go to from this point on, every event you go to from this point on, you're going there with a healthy mindset and getting it all done. So Karen, I'm absolutely honored to walk this journey with you. And the term that I always say is be the prize, right? As other people watch your journey, they see the success that you're having and they want a piece of it. They want to see how fun it is and how much you're enjoying everything you're doing. And if you get to goal and you stay at goal and you maintain it and you're living a healthy, happy life, that is the point of the journey where most of your friends in your peer group, they recognize it. And that's the point when they say, I want to do that as well. There is no looking back. What you need to do at this point is you need to look forward. You need to look forward to a healthy, happy life from this point forward. Karen, congratulations. Currently down 40.9 pounds and doing it. Karen, you don't lose 40.9 pounds in an accident. You've done it with focus and discipline, and I'm proud of you. Next up is Becky. Becky says, hi, my name is Becky. My total weight loss is 17 pounds. I reached my 10% a couple of weeks ago and then down another 0.8 at last week's weigh-in. Today, I listened to your April 9th episode. I'm trying to catch up. You talked to someone about their elliptical goal. At 63 years old, I have some arthritis in my knees, and I still try and walk 3 to 4 miles 5 times a week. The pain comes after the walk. I've been encouraged by my trainer to try the elliptical instead of the treadmill or outside walking because it will be easier on the knees. My problem is the elliptical really wears my legs out, and I can barely make 6 minutes. Starting today, I'm going to go 6 minutes for 30 days, then increase to 10. Thank you for the wise advice. I wish you good focus as well. Becky. Becky, first off, 10% is amazing. If you've hit 10% in your weight loss journey, you can hit goal. Let me say that again. If you've hit 10% in your weight loss journey, you can hit goal. You don't get additional tools. Nothing changes. The point values don't change. If you've hit 10%, you've proven to yourself that you can stay focused, you can stay disciplined. And I'm guessing that along the way you weren't perfect. I'm guessing along the way there were days that you didn't follow the plan perfectly, but you woke up the next day and you started over and you got it done and you persevered and you hit 10%. If you continue doing that, then you can hit goal. Quitting is where you all of a sudden, that's when you give up on your goal, but you have the ability to get there. You've proven it by hitting your 10% and your 17-pound weight loss. Great job there. Now, let's talk about your elliptical. Now, I understand the need to want to do it. Every time you see any fitness video, you watch any TV show that does a fitness show, you go to any gym, what's the one thing you see? You see a trainer in there that's yelling at you to push it, go harder, you can do it, you can do it. And while that's motivating, that's certainly motivating for someone who's already built the habit of going. For many of us, we're not there yet. You know, and if you can barely make 6 minutes on the elliptical, then I'm dang proud of you for doing that. I want you to back down the intensity. I want you to make that 6 minute mark, and I want you to get to that 6 minute mark where you all of a sudden feel like you can do it again the next day. And the next day you do it again. And so if you back down the intensity and you just take it easy for those 6 minutes and you do that 5, 6, 7 days a week, in your mind, what you're building a muscle that doesn't get worked out on the elliptical. That muscle gets worked out by you building the healthy habit, and then suddenly your daily routine is to get to a gym. And your daily routine is to hop on the elliptical for 6 minutes. And then you're doing that, and then slowly you can do that for 30 days, then you can increase the time, and then at some point you'll increase the intensity. I would much rather you start slower with the intensity and continue with the consistency, because that is the plan that'll set you up for long-term for life. That's what I refer to as an attendance goal. At some point, your body will start begging for performance goals, but you don't need to give it a performance goal until you've clearly built a healthy habit of attendance. So, Becky, thank you for your email. Congratulations again on your 10%. Next up, Mark says, "Hi, Mike. This is Mark from St. Paul, Minnesota, and I'm an online-only member. My Connect name is Laughing Buddha. I am finally writing in to tell you I made my 10% goal, and I've lost 30 pounds. Since joining on April 24th, 2017, I decided that a 10% goal was a good goal to start with, and my doctor agreed. This is my second time trying Weight Watchers since 2011. The tools are so much better than back then, and I'm absolutely thrilled with my results so far. It's only taken 122 days to get here, and after my weigh-in this morning, I immediately set another interim goal of another 10%. As I need to break down my goals into smaller chunks to keep me focused and dedicated. I haven't decided on a goal weight because I'm following your wise advice, and I'm concentrating on a feeling rather than a number. I am so grateful for your podcast and my Connect tribe, and I'm also lucky enough to have coworkers and friends that also follow the plan. I am truly supported in my journey, and I look forward to what's possible, and I will keep you posted on my progress. Thanks for your service to our country and to our Weight Watcher community. Thank you, Mark." Mark, 10%. You just heard me talk about 10%. If you hit 10%, you can hit goal. You're down 30 pounds. That's incredible. That's focus and discipline. You don't do that on accident. And I'm very glad to see that what you've done is you've broken your journey up into small 10% increments. That there keeps you focused along the way, and it gives you a continual milestone to hit for. And you absolutely have the right mindset going into it is, no, we don't know what our goal weight is. What we know is that we're going to make, the goal is to be healthy. The goal is to make healthier choices more often than not. The goal is to make sure that we're working out more often than not. When you do all that for the rest of your life, you will settle into a weight that you're happy with, that you're comfortable with, and then at some point you'll hop on the scale and you'll say, you know what, I do not want to lose any more weight. And the fact that you've hit 10% proves to me that you can do that. So thank you for setting the small goals. Thank you for keeping yourself focused, because that is what builds this community. When you continue to have the success you're having and you share it the way you have, there was someone else right now, Mark, listening to this story and saying, you know what, I didn't know I could do it. But Mark did it. And if Mark did it, then I can do it. And that is what builds this community, is that we continue to have the success that we're having. We continue to celebrate along the way, and we are a much better community because of it. So Mark, thank you for your email. I cannot wait to hear it when you get to goal, and I want to celebrate with you. What is it that you're celebrating? Let's share it on the air. Go to FatDag.com, click on Listen Now, send in your celebrations, your comments, your questions. I'll work them in as part of the show. I want you to email in your celebrations because I want you to be proud of what you're doing. I want to share it with the community so that everybody knows that this journey is absolutely doable. We can get it done together, and we were working together to do that. So that is going to do it for this time. Remember, losing weight and getting healthy has nothing to do with luck. You have to remain disciplined and focused. Set your sights on your goal and go after it. I wish you good focus. All right, so I'll get over to Facebook in a second. Let me get this out of the way. Instagram crowd, good evening. Hey, Chris, good to see you, sir. Yeah, a lot of folks feel a lot of these emails. That's the beauty of this thing, is when you write these emails in, is you can easily feel like that we all wrote them. So very, very nice. Let's see what else. So I'm doing the show. I stream live on Facebook and on Instagram here, Facebook over here. So Facebook crowd, how are you guys tonight? Let's see what's going on over in Facebook land. Let's see, we got all kinds of good stuff. Yeah, everyone's clapping for Mark hitting 10%. That's very cool. And, it's true. If you hit 10%, you really can hit goal, and it's so. You got to think of it like that. You got to think that. The amount of effort and work it takes to get to 10%, if you just do that for the rest of your life, you'll get there. So, nice work, for sure. Susan, thank you. I'm glad you're back, too. It was lonely without you. Let's see. Diane, thank you for that. Marianne, just wanted to say hi. Good evening to you. We'll listen in the morning, so for sure. We'll see you in the morning, Marianne. Lisa, thank you. Jill, thank you very much for that. So what do you think? What was, this topic of binge eating is something that comes up quite a bit, and I don't really know how to address it, because it's just one of those things. I don't think we can ever prevent it. I think we just have to then just understand that it happens, and how do we react to it. So, yeah, Angie, it's true, right? So, Angie, the number one thing Angie's saying is that she loves these stories because they keep her motivated to push on. So, Angie, what I believe is also true is that when we hear these stories, we hear of people who aren't perfect, meaning people struggle on this plan, and people are having hiccups and having challenges, but they're still able to persevere and keep going. That's what you need to know. Because most of us, when we run into that first roadblock, we go, I forget it, I can't do it. And then we quit. And we don't want to do that. So, yeah, Marianne, so for those of you who don't know, 10% is when you start your weight loss journey, you take your current weight, and then you set your first goal is just to lose 10% of your current weight. So in my case, I started at 263 pounds. So when I got to 26-pound weight loss, actually have to have it right here. When I got to a 26-pound weight loss, that was my 10% goal. Let's see if it's. I don't even know if it's in here. Yeah, so I'm going to do it to both. So I don't know if it'll show up in Instagram. So, so that one's when I weighed in, and it sets a 5% goal, and then, but so after the 5% goal, I don't know if you can see that or not. So it sets a 5% target of 13 pounds. So a 10% target is 26 pounds, and that's kind of like the first goal along the journey that lets you know that you're getting it done. Yeah, so Nikki over in Instagram saying that you were talking in a meeting tonight saying that you have to pick up immediately, right, and get back on plan. Don't you just not an excuse. You just keep going. So I completely agree with that. So let's see. Catherine said it's froze. I don't know that it's froze over on Facebook, but interesting stuff. So Lenny's chimes in, says the other night you had a binge, sort of, had a bunch of jelly bellies. I usually control myself and have 2 points worth, but ate about 8 points. Yikes, counted it and moved on. You know, and I meant to address that piece in the show as well, is that there is a point where tracking it is the key, because when you track it, that is, when you track it, what happens there is that starts to teach you the point value of the food. So the next time that comes up, you're like, oh my God, that's 20 points for that, or that's 8 points for that. Maybe I don't need to have that this time. And so a lot of times early on, if you don't know the point value, you can binge on it. And then once you finally look it up, that's where the regret sets in. But what I want you to do is look it up ahead of time, or if you track it after the fact, then the next time that scenario comes up, you'll remember the point value of it and say, okay, now I'm going to get ready to have this. I know this whole bag of things is 10 points, and maybe that will reel you in at that point. So let's see. Lucy is saying, let me scroll up here. Lucy's saying that for me, binge eating comes from pushing down feelings with food. Yeah, and that doesn't work, does it, Lucy? So almost every time you have bad feelings and you eat your feelings, I've never seen it cure it. It's usually at that point you go, okay, that didn't work. So, yeah, Catherine said your job of 19 years is ending on Friday, and it's been tough. So, yeah, so that that's another show topic at some point is you get into this routine. You have to build a healthy routine to keep this thing going, and when your routine changes, you need to be on the lookout for that. And then you need to understand that you're going to have to, for a couple days or weeks, you're going to have to reassess everything you do and build a new routine. So, Catherine, that's what you're up against right now, is you have the tools. So now find the way to use them in your new routine, and you'll be okay. Yeah, Anne's saying it's so important to be able to forgive yourself, to get refocused and get back on track. That is what I continue to stress with the folks who, when you hit 10%, the one question I always ask is, did you do it perfectly? Were you 100% perfect? When you lost 55 pounds, when you lost 70 pounds, when you hit your 100-pound weight loss, did you do it perfectly? Did you weigh every single meal? Did you track every single meal? Did you work out every single day? The answer generally is almost always going to be no. So wait, so if you didn't do it perfectly, but you still were able to have that success, what does that teach you? That teaches you that the days that you aren't perfect, you wake up and you continue the journey, because the trend line will look perfect. And that's what you're after. So thank you for sure. Yeah, so Angie's saying, you build healthy habits, and it's amazing how much less you can eat and be full and not feel stuffed, and you don't even want junk food anymore. So Angie, that's the same with me, is that, and I've recognized that, is, I used to need to eat all day long, and now I don't. I eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and an occasional snack in between of a protein bar or something, but, what I'm learning is that's mostly out of habit, not out of hunger. So I'm trying to continue on those habits, but still well within my point range. But, I don't need it the way I used to need food before. And I think having a lot of extra protein helps with that. Let's see. Scrolling through here. Yeah, Liz is saying, on the tracker, then in the smacker. Corey saying, the stories keep you motivated. I agree. That's the same for me. Yeah, so Sandra says, on a binge, you got to rewire the bad eating habit, break the circuit, don't react to the urge, and it took 2 years. It does. It takes a while to get that. So, Jamie's here. Yep, you're a little late, but you're still here. We're about ready to wind up the live broadcast. The show will go live in about probably half hour or so. I'll get it finally published, get it through the filters out to you. So there we go there. Catherine, you're going to be great. I get it. I know it. Kirby, you're here. Good evening, sir. Kirby's in. We're over, but Kirby's here. Let's see. Yeah, Corey brings up a great point over on Facebook. Corey says that you don't keep your trigger foods in the house. So that's probably true for me too. Is right. If right now here we are. It's 11 o'clock Eastern. I'm getting ready to go to bed for sure. But if for some reason I feel the urge, I have the option of a banana or an apple, maybe some strawberries. There's not a lot for me to go crazy on tonight. So, if I'm going to have to do that, I've got to do it somewhere else. So, Carrie, you're welcome over on Instagram. So I think maybe we'll add Twitter next, right? We'll see if we can add 3 or 4 live streams going. It's obviously harder to keep the comments going, but I think it's fun. I think you guys all understand that, it's kind of hard to balance too. So I bounce to Instagram, then over to Facebook, and then to Instagram, and then to Facebook. Yep. But no, I'm going to keep Instagram going. I like Instagram. Instagram's pretty cool, but I can add a third video component to do the Twitter feed as well. Yeah, Susan, we really have a real Hawaii person. You're right. Danica's asking, super curious, how much sleep do I get? Well, it's 11 o'clock Eastern, and I'll be at work tomorrow morning by, depends on the day, 7:38. In that time range, and then so it'll take me another hour to get the show going. So I sleep on Saturday morning. That's the time I sleep. Yeah, May says love. So May, we do. I mean, so I buy a bunch of these, and we just fill them up from the tap and put them in the fridge. I mean, we have a water filter, and we just fill them up. You got to have a water shelf, right? Cool. Instagram crowd is happy. Everyone likes having it on Instagram. I didn't realize until I started doing this how many people don't have Facebook, and I just kind of assumed everybody did, but a lot of you don't. Brian, you made it live. Good evening to you. May has a fruit shelf instead of a water shelf. Yeah. So Lenny. That's the key. So I replaced my trigger foods with dill pickles was probably one, strawberries for sure, apples, sliced apples, because I'm a fruit guy. So when I felt the need during the journey, if I had the need to eat, then I had options of pickles, strawberries, bananas, or apples. And so that quickly taught me that, if I was going there for that, it really reprogrammed the brain a little bit, and now I don't do that as much. So... Ellen, how do I stay away from the Buffalo Wild Wings, the trigger food that the kids bring in the house? So this particular instance, it was not hard at all. First of all, she wrote on the box and she said, this is Megan's, don't touch. So that was number one. It was very kind of her to do that. But two, I'm not tempted by that. I know I can have it, and I have had it, but I'm going to have it on my terms the day that I want it. And so what I've always said is if you choose it, then choose it, track it, enjoy it, and move on. If it chooses you, that's when you have to make the assessment. And so in that particular moment, what happened is I came down in the morning, I opened the fridge to get a water, and there was the wings sitting there. I didn't open the refrigerator looking for wings. So I recognized that, and I was like, wait a minute, I came here for water, let me get my water and go on. And so if I wanted them, I could have very easily gone for lunch and it was breakfast. I had not eaten a single thing all day, so they easily would have fit into the day. So that's not the issue. The issue is I didn't make the choice to have them, so therefore I wasn't going to have them until I choose to have them. So that's how I handled that scenario. Yeah, Susan, very nice. And Sandra, they are gone, but I don't know where they went, honestly. I think maybe either they ate them or they threw them away. I don't know. Yeah, so Diane doesn't even buy them. So I'm the same way. I don't even buy it. Teresa, good to see you. Welcome. You're very welcome for the motivation. Hopefully, Teresa, if you don't already, get the WhysAdvice app out of your app store. And there's 102 episodes currently. This episode will be 103. And then, of course, all of these videos, and same for the folks on Instagram, all of the Facebook Live videos go to YouTube after. So you can go to youtube.com/FatDag, and all of the Facebook videos go to YouTube. So for the replay. Let's see. Wings and water. Yep. Yeah, Sharon, that's one of the things I have read too, that, sleep is probably one of the best things you can do. I got to get better at that for sure. And long range plan, if you want to really know, you kind of can't tell right now, but I have a home office right here. In my home office, unfortunately on that side, which you can't see, that side is all open to our house. And so when I do the show, right now my family's over there and they're either trying to sleep or who knows. But what I would love to do is I would love to enclose this in and soundproof it. Then I can record the show earlier in the day and or be quieter for them, and that allows me to get into bed sooner. But I'm still trying to feel this out. Here we are. We're going to hit about 600,000 downloads probably in the next couple days or so, which is a solid number. Each show episode, we're getting roughly 10,000 downloads a day. So that is the validation in my brain that says, yeah, there is a service that's out here. There's a need for this, and so I'm honored to be able to continue to do that. But what I'm starting to figure out is, in order to do that, I've got to figure out some stuff where I can have a much greater reach. And so the much greater reach for me becomes, unfortunately, it sounds crazy, but building a studio, or not to say building, but enclosing in this room that I'm in so that I can make better adjustments and reach more people. So that's a long-term plan. But if the show was getting 2 downloads a day, I wouldn't invest the time or energy to do that. But because we're starting to hit some real numbers, then again, that tells me that it's needed. So that'll be on the plan in the future for sure. Let's see. Yeah, Ann says she loves dill pickles, so I do too. Dill pickle spears are good. Teresa asking, she's like, where do you inquire about becoming a receptionist for Weight Watchers? Ask your meeting room leader for sure. And then the other option is you can go to the Weight Watcher website and apply directly from there. So you can do that. The rules or the guidelines for becoming a Weight Watcher employee, last I knew, so don't 100% quote me, but you had to have started the plan, you had to have hit your 10% weight loss goal, and you had to have maintained that for 12 weeks and continue to work the plan, and that qualifies you for opportunities for employment. Elaine saying, you're fairly new. Hello from Florida. Second round on Weight Watchers. Love the show. So motivating, and you find that you need inspiration. Thank you. That's why we're here, right? So Elaine, just to let you in on a little secret, I do this show primarily for me. Sorry. But the primary reason I do this is because I need that level. Everything I've done in this journey, I did it because I needed a little bit a different level of accountability. What I noticed is I understand the complacency trap that I talk about in episode 72. I understand the danger of that. And so every time that I feel like I get into that danger zone, I find a different way to hold myself accountable. So I'll walk you through them. So the first one is I committed to going to a meeting every single day for a year. I did that. And once I knew I hit goal, I was like, typically I understand most people when they hit goal, they quit going to meetings even though we're not supposed to. So I said, okay, well, I'll apply to be a leader so that keeps me accountable. So I applied to be a leader. What I realized during that process is that doesn't hold me accountable like I thought it would. And so that actually adds a level of complication and challenge to the plan that I wasn't expecting. So I needed more. So then somewhere along the lines too, I hop on my scale daily. I use my Nokia body cardio scale. If you follow me on Twitter and Facebook, you'll notice that every day I hop on the scale. Every day it's automatically sent to Twitter, automatically sent to Facebook. All I have to do is hop on the scale, and it's automatically put on my website. If you go to FatDag.com, it's on the front page, and it's also on the weight loss graph. So that was a level of accountability. And it's funny is, the Facebook crowd is great. Is if I don't hop on the scale, if I'm on vacation or something and I don't take my scale with me, is you guys are real quick to say, hey, you haven't weighed in, or when the number starts climbing, you guys are real quick to say, hey, what's going on? And that's a level of accountability that I love, and so honored to be able to do that. And so that was a piece. But even with that I noticed, that it's easy to slip away. So then I added the podcast as another way of, okay, if I can stay engaged in my audience, that kind of gives me a daily focus and keeps me on plan. And so far, this is working very well. So all of those things combined keep me in the journey, which is crazy. So long answer for all that, right? Angie's looking for weigh-in 10% this week. Good job there. Steven finally got all of his magnets off of it. If you guys saw, Steven put a post on Connect. He took all the magnets and put them all over the place. I would show you the magnets, but I don't have any left actually. And so I'm at the point, do I reorder them or do I just let that thing die? Because I never really wanted to be in the magnet business. But I'll show you. It's fun. It was this. So this is all I have left, and they're gone. Someone bought them. So I always wondered, do I do more or do I just let them go away? So Steve got them off his body. So very cool. Yes, Denise still here. 600. Yeah, 600,000. All right, scrolling through. Yeah. Thank you guys. You guys are very awesome over there. Siobhan, thank you for that. I really appreciate you sharing that information. So Siobhan's saying that she shares this with all of her patients. So, I get a handful of emails a day. Not a day, but a handful of emails that address that, where one of my favorite couple ones are Weight Watcher coaches who are providing a coaching service. They recommend the podcast to their clients, I guess. So that's kind of cool. And then now, if you tell your patients about it, that's very cool too. So thank you for that. So yeah, the plan is, the plan is to grow it, right? But it's just one of those crazy things that, trust me, when I started this, I did not at all anticipate we would do Facebook Live. We would do Instagram Live at the same time. We'd be at 10,000 downloads a day. I remember, it's funny. Here's a funny story. I remember when I started this, right? So, and I started with really good intentions, and then somewhere in the middle, I kind of was like, ooh, and so it's kind of like I was reading like how to develop a podcast, because I knew nothing about making a podcast, so I didn't know how to do it. So I'm reading about it, and then everything I read kept saying how to monetize your podcast, how to monetize your podcast. And so I never started with that intention, so I stayed away from those conversations because it wasn't what I was interested in at all. And then, but everything I'm trying to find out which microphone to buy next and which this to buy next. And every article ends with how to monetize your podcast. So I started reading some of them. And one of the things it said is, don't even consider it until you get to, a level of what they consider 20,000 downloads. And I remember going, oh, okay. So I looked at the download numbers because I have access to see how often it's downloaded. And it was like, 300 or 400. And I remember seeing that number of 300 and 400 and going, 20,000? That's insane. And then so I dismissed that completely and said, no, I'm moving on. And here we are at 600,000. So crazy. And we still don't monetize it, right? Because that's not the intent. The intent was never to make this a profit-seeking revenue. The intent was to keep me accountable and to give back. But what I've realized is at some point we'll have to figure out that out so that I can build a studio so we can reach more people. But that'll happen when it happens. I'm not even interested there. So Teresa on Facebook says, love the daily focus. That's why we do the show daily. I do the show daily because I believe this takes daily focus to do this. When I leave my meeting room, when I was losing weight, I could leave my meeting on Tuesday. By Wednesday afternoon, I had forgotten everything that I was doing, and I would struggle to get back to the week. So, very cool. Yeah, so stickers and T-shirts. Let me tell you why there's no T-shirt, right? You want to know why there's not a FatDag T-shirt or a WhysAdvice T-shirt? I will, so Nikki agrees with me on Instagram. Nikki says ads are terrible. I 100% agree ads are terrible. And so Jeannie's saying, why don't I do t-shirts? The reason I don't do t-shirts is because I don't want you to be in whatever size t-shirt you're in right now that you would buy. I don't want you to stay in that size t-shirt. So I don't want you to buy a t-shirt that you know you're not going to wear for the rest of your life. That's silly. Then when you get to goal, you got so many options in the world for really cool clothing that you don't want a crappy $2 t-shirt. So no, I'm not in the t-shirt business. And then there's a whole logistical mess too. So, all right. So you guys are asking for more magnets. So, let's see. Crystal's here. Good to see you. A wing pin that says, I believe in you. Yep. So there's all kinds of ways, but it's just really tough to really, it's again, this, so trust me, so I ordered a handful of these last time, and I know it sounds silly, right? But I'm telling you, when you get the first time I put them out there, we had like 30 or 40 a day, and then and when you order them, I write a little note on the bottom to you saying thank you for ordering, thank you for your support. It takes a little bit of effort to do it. I'm glad to do it, but it's just one of those things that I'm not trying to do it for any other reason to get them out there. So I gotta figure that out. Donna, you can do this. It's not a long journey. It's for the rest of your life. You can do it for sure. Yeah, Ellen, I agree. I don't want to be in the annoying t-shirt pusher club. So, you got enough going on. I call this wise advice because I want you to stay focused on your journey. I don't really want to distract you. That's why we don't have ads. I don't have an ad because there's nothing worse, in my opinion, than in the middle of this saying, and hey, congratulations on your 10%. That 10% brought to you by. And so I understand that. Now the side thing is, there will come a time where I will find the right partner, and if a partner can help me grow the show the way I want to reach more people, then I'm going to give them credit for helping me grow the show. But that's not going to be, hey, and enjoy this ice cream while you're eating, watching the show. So I promise you, when I get to that point, it'll be done properly and not in a distraction way, because I don't want to distract you. I want you to stay focused on your journey. But again, that's all down the road. It's not the focus, and if that's not the focus, we'll do it right in the right direction. So, very cool. All right, looks like we're caught up to everything everywhere. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. Audrey chimes in, says, "Love the magnets, but you really need to listen to the podcast." Yeah, so you were Lifetime before, which means the cool thing. This is what I love about folks who've made Lifetime and then gained the weight back. That's fine. What I love about that is you've proven that you can do this. So how much easier is the journey if you know for a fact you can do it? Most of us, the first time I hit Lifetime, I didn't even know it was possible. So you, at least now, you're starting a journey knowing that it's 100% possible and that you can do it. That's an amazing gift. So the fact that you know you can do it is the power that you need to push yourself and get to goal. So congratulations on those of you who are at goal. More so, congratulations for every single one of you chiming in, watching this live, because if you're watching this live, it means you're committed to yourself. It means you're focused on your journey, and it means you want to get this done. You wouldn't be chiming in. You wouldn't be listening for any other reason. You're ready to get this done. I believe you can get this done, and I want to get this done with you. So continue to stay focused. It takes focus. It takes discipline. It has nothing to do with luck. I wish you good focus. Have a good night. Good night.